Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Indian School of Physics. This is Nitin here, and today we are going to discuss a very important concept. As you can see the name, concept of torsion or twisting of a cylinder. So this is the diagram related to this concept. Normally within JEE syllabus we just discuss the formula of this part, and the clarity doesn't come to the students. So today we are going to discuss that part in detail. So here is the statement of this problem, and we are going to discuss the concept of it. So a solid cylinder of length L and radius R is fixed rigidly at one end, and the other end of the cylinder is rotated by an angle theta. Find number one, the torque developed in the rod. Number two, the work done by the agent in twisting the cylinder. Number three, torsional rigidity. So this torsional rigidity is nothing but torsional constant. All right. And then we have to derive the above results for the hollow cylinder with inner radius R1 and outer radius R2. And then we have to compare their torsional constants, and we have to check under what condition whether it is difficult to rotate a solid cylinder or a hollow cylinder. So here in the diagram I am taking the diagram of solid cylinder because their derivations are almost identical. So let's discuss the concept here. So as you can see here, since this top end is fixed, this is not going to rotate, this is rigidly fixed here, and we are twisting this part, and let's say we are rotating it by an angle of theta. So what happens is I am taking here a cylinder of radius x. I am taking a cylinder of radius x. Please remember the original cylinder is having radius of r. I will explain you why I am taking the cylinder of radius x. So this black rectangle, you can see this is the initial layer which was present in the cylinder. When I'm applying a torque and I'm trying to twist the cylinder, this angle rotated by this line at lower end becomes theta. Since top end is rigidly fixed here, so these layers are not going to move. So you will see here that I'm denoting it by blue line, that it is going to rotate slightly, and I'm calling this as some angle phi. So this angle theta is called as twist angle, and this angle phi is called as strain angle. All right. Now in this diagram you can see here the cylinders of different radii will have different twist length. Angle is same, but their twist lengths are different. You can see here twist length is something else, here twist length is something else, here it is different. So as radius is changing, the twist length is also changing. That is the reason I cannot directly take for radius r. So I am considering a general cylinder of radius small x, and I'll do the analysis for it, and further we will derive it for radius capital R. So please remember this layer which is rotating here, and this angle is called as strain angle, and this is called as twist angle. So since this arc length is same, and its length I can write in terms of radius, so that is going to be x theta, and similarly the same length will come from here also. Length of the cylinder is L, so I can say this L phi must be equal to x theta, which I have written here. All right. So now I'm considering at the base a ring of radius x, and its thickness I'm taking as dx. Okay, further slightly dx. So when I'm trying to rotate this, I'm applying a torque in this direction for twisting the wire. So what happens is the material generates a force in reverse direction. It opposes this change, and it will try to restore this original configuration. So one tangential force will be developing on this ring. One tangential force is going to developing in this ring. So we can say here we are going to calculate this magnitude also. So here this angle is theta. So area of this ring I can write from here. I can write this area of this ring where this tangential force is acting on this differential ring. I can write it as 2 pi x dx. Now we can go to the calculation of torque. Okay, we can go to this modulus of rigidity here. This is eta, and by definition it is shear stress by shear strain. You would have studied in your classes. It's a standard formula. So here on this ring, stress, that is tangential force divided by area of this ring. Okay, this is the stress, and shear strain in this case is going to be the strain angle itself. If you remember, this will be the diagram. Normally in classes you would have seen when we apply a force along the tangent, this layer shifts slightly and this angle theta. So I can write this modulus of rigidity as F by A theta, where F is this tangential force. Now we have to do the same analysis for this differential ring. So here I have denoted this direction of F tangential, or you can say F torsional, whichever way is more comfortable. So it is going to restore the body. So here, so this shear force I can write as eta A phi. I can write this as eta A phi, okay, where A is 2 pi x dx. So I can write this part dF tangential. This force is the differential force I'm writing here on this differential ring, dFt, and that is going to be eta times 2 pi x dx, and this phi angle I can write from the previous equation. It is going to be x theta by L. So total shear force on the ring I can calculate from here. That is just rearranging the previous terms. So this is going to be the value of shear force on the ring. Now this force is going to provide a torque, and that is going to be the restoring torque on this differential ring. So this d tau I can simply write dft times x. So when I integrate and I get total torque I am going to get, I'll integrate this from 0 to capital R. When I simplify this, I get pi eta theta r to the power 4 by 2L. This is the torque generated in this rod when we are trying to twist it. All right, please remember it depends on this angle of twist. So normally in your classes you will be studying about tau is equal to c theta, where c is the torsional constant. So here I can define. Similarly, I can do the same analysis for hollow cylinder as well. As you can see here, for hollow cylinder, same ring we are going to take, same FTV will be right, but only difference will be when we are going to calculate the total torque, the limit of x will go from inner radius to outer radius. When I do that, I'm using the blue color for hollow cylinder. I'll be getting this torque as pi eta theta r to the power 4 minus r1 to the power 4 by 2L. See, it's quite similar to this result only. Since they were similar, I thought I'll take both together itself. So now here, work done by the external agent. So external agent is doing work against this. So he'll be supplying positive energy, and work done by this is going to be negative by this internal force, this torque. So work done by external force, in order to twist this cylinder by an angle of theta, I can simply write tau d theta. Right, tau d theta I can write. So when I substitute the value, let's say total twist angle is theta naught. So 0 to theta naught will be the limit. When I simplify, I am going to get this as pi eta r to the power 4 by 4L times theta naught square. Theta d theta is theta square by 2. So this is going to be the work done by agent in order to twist the lower end of the cylinder by an angle of theta naught. And similarly for hollow cylinder, I can write, and you can guess easily, that r to the power 4 will be replaced by r to the power 4 minus r1 to the power 4. Rest of the result will be as it is. Now for hollow cylinder, we are going to do tau d theta with this expression. That's the reason for it. So we have calculated this work done for rotating the lower end of hollow cylinder, which comes as pi eta theta naught square by 4L times r to the power 4 minus r1 to the power 4. Now here Torsional constant, I can define this torsional rigidity or torsional constant, both are same. It is torque produced per unit angle, per unit angle, okay, per unit twist angle, more precisely I can say. So when I write that tau by theta, when I do tau by theta here, you can see in this expression, when I apply tau by theta, I am getting pi eta r to the power 4 by 2L. So same thing I'm writing here for a solid cylinder. Its torsional constant is pi eta r to the power 4 by 2L. This is the torsional rigidity or torsional constant of a solid cylinder. Similarly, I can do this for a hollow cylinder, and I'm going to get, from similar to previous result, I'm going to get this as pi eta r1 to the power 4 minus r1 to the power 4 by 2L. All right. Now here let's compare these two. So when I divide these two, I'm going to get this for same angle. I'm taking same length here. Okay, I'm taking same length here. So I'm going to get this ratio. Now under certain conditions, like here I'm taking, if masses of both hollow and solid cylinders are same, in that case I can, when I solve it, when I equate these masses, I try to solve it, I am getting C1 by C ratio as R1 square plus R2 square by R square. I can do plus and minus R1 square by rearranging these terms, so that I can write this ratio as 1. So it is going to become 1 plus 2R1 square by capital R square. So I can say clearly from here that C1 is definitely greater than C. C1 is definitely greater than C. What is the meaning of it? Its simple meaning is the hollow cylinder generates more torque per unit change in angle. So since it is generating more restoring torque, we can easily say it is difficult to twist. All right, that is what I have written here. Hollow cylinder generates more torque to rotate a unit angle, therefore it is difficult to twist. This conclusion we are reaching under the assumption both the cylinders are having same masses. All right, so this is it in this concept. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please go through it again, and if you are enjoying this video, please leave a like, share it with your other friends and teachers, and if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. Thank you very much.